Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the Yelak, Bashem Rachakodash. My name is Yacobo from Plaintables Camp, and it's the apostles video here. It says, get ready. And I guess this is a so-called King Charles. He's not a Judite. Endowed with the crown and sitting on the throne and the mantle on and the jewels. All right, so let's see what the apostles are going to say.
Merely using it for educational purposes. I'm not making any money off of this video, just using it for educational purposes and to share information. So listen up. Hold on. Let me turn that up.
Officially announced the rollout of digital ID.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Okay, so he had to say, because Kearse, is that his name? Kearse? I'm saying his name right. Steimer? He announced it, but if they get somebody they respect more saying it, it like reinforces it. Okay, so this so-called King Charles announced it after Keir Starmer announced it a couple of months ago. So this, solidifies it. This puts it in concrete. And if you respect him, then okay, you respect, okay, this new system coming in is necessary and it's going to help. This the thinking behind it. This is what I'm analyzing from the video.
The King of the Commonwealth himself is now backing the digital identification system that many warned was coming for years. And if it's happening in the UK, it's only a matter of time before it comes to Australia, Canada, and the rest of the Commonwealth nations. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. This is real. This is happening right now. Digital ID, AI surveillance, face tracking cameras, mass data collection, 4K monitoring systems.
And I looked it up too. It is I put King Charles. I put King Charles digital ID, and it came right up. He actually said that King backs digital ID. King Charles pushes digital ID. So yeah, Keir Starmer said it. He said it. You gotta have it. You gotta have the digital ID. This is a precursor to the implantable microchip. So somebody, if you don't like him, if you don't like Keir Starmer, but you respect the king, all right, it's Edomite king, then you are more likely to accept the new system. Surveillance state, the servers and the microchips to process the imaging and audio and video data that they're going to be collecting in mass. So that's why they needed data centers to process all that data.
Dystopian future people laughed about is now being...
That's just, one thing, surveillance system. And people are saying that that's what they actually need the processing power for, just for the audio and video and files they're going to be processing, that they're going to be collecting on people. Massive amount of data. It's just going to be new data every day. So it's always going to be new data. So it's always going to be work available too, by the way.
Built in front of our very eyes. Governments around the world are moving towards a system where your identity, movement, finances, and online access become increasingly centralized and monitored. This is massive news. Share this video far and wide. People need to understand what is coming. God bless the world. The King of the United Kingdom has officially announced the rollout of digital ID.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
The King of the Commonwealth.
Put it right here. Put King Charles. Oh, I can't write it. No, on my phone, I'm logged into a different account, so it didn't. Like the AI that is AI when it predicts what you're about to read. That's predict what you're about to write in. That's artificial intelligence, by the way. Yeah, came right up. The Hill, FinTech Magazine, Cyber News, Charisma Magazine, The Deep Drive. Will UK digital ID be mandatory? As of May 2026, the UK government has dropped plans to make the new digital ID mandatory for verifying the right to work. All right, so it's not according to AI overview, it's not mandatory for right to work. Revising a previous proposal while the government is still rolling out a voluntary digital ID scheme to improve access to services. It will not be compulsory to use it to prove employment eligibility. See what the apostle's going to say.
Himself is now backing the digital identification system.
Speaking of Micro CHIP being the head of that, because that is the MOTB, and then the digital ID system is pretty much what's being used as legislation, to set up this whole, infrastructure, because the infrastructure is up.
They all work together anyway. So the first scripture I thought of was 47:12. Isaiah, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So, and this is one of the elite's plans to microchip everybody, and this is a precursor to roll out the eventual implantable microchip, which is the mark of the beast spoken about in Revelation 13th chapter.
They want everyone's identification online, on record, and then everyone to be enrolled in this system so that it could make it easier just to merge everything with this Micro CHIP. Because as we told you before, broke it down many times. I think that's one of the most broken down prophecy in Great Millstone is the MOTB, dealing with the word mark, which goes back to the root word, or to the Greek word charagma, which means the device that's going to be inserted in the people. Then it goes back to the root word charax, which is the device that's used to, implant that device under your skin. And then the root word to that is grapho, which are the records that are stored in it. And people laughed at us years ago, when we started talking about concentration camps and detention centers and all of that, which Elder Apostle Gabar was, heavy into that back then. He was like one of the main ones pushing it back then, and people ridiculed, mocked, especially the IUIC, but now we're actually coming to the point where it's actually coming to fruition. We're actually seeing the fruits of it today, and people are not laughing anymore. People are not calling it a conspiracy theory. They're actually seeing what's going on, so much so that now they're starting to bark and chirp and, and talk about it and talking about, can't y'all see what's going on around? Now the average, hood cat is an intellectual. He's a philosopher now. You know what I mean? Because the evidence is overwhelming. Now here, this is a Mario Nafal post on X. It says King Charles has confirmed the UK government is moving forward with digital ID. This should be concerning. This is now official government policy. All right.
Yeah, Mario, he's the devil. This guy here, Nafal. Satan. But anyway, yeah, right here. Not mandatory, but gradually it's going to become mandatory, or it might just roll right into it might hit you right in the right in the arms with more drugs and an actual microchip. All right. So voluntary, no mandatory. Did I even ask? Was it mandatory? Okay, so this is actually big news because it was reversing previous proposal because it was mandatory. Can I highlight this or no? Allow. Oh, let me do that. Wow, okay. So yeah, before it was mandatory, like reversing it, and it could. They should have. I'm glad they did because it makes people stupider and think you lying. So when they do happen, they jump on the ass. All right. Good, great job for rolling it back and being more gradual. All right. You did what you were supposed to do. They were probably going to do that anyway. All right. Shock you and then you ease back a little bit.
So this official government policy is a part of the teeth that is used to cement this agenda, not a proposal. Civil liberties groups have fought this for years, privacy concerns, surveillance infrastructure, the whole debate. But nevertheless, they fought it, but it's here. No, the surveillance infrastructure has been built.
Okay. Yeah. I hope this information helped you. You should be very familiar with this word by now. Charagma goes back to Chrex. All right. It goes back to the ivy leaf of Bacchus in the third book of the Maccabees, if I'm not mistaken. Things carved. That's how we know it's going to be cutting into the flesh. Stamped on the forehead. So it's not just stamped, but it's carved into the flesh of the right hand. All right. See how these work together? And then you get the 666. He's in love with that number. It was a Courage the Cowardly Dog episode. It said 666 and a half. I don't think I took a picture of it on the door. It was, they're all were in all these animation movies. They're all in they're all working together. They're all a part of a secret cult. All right. Some of them on the inner circle, some of them on the outer circle, but they're part of the circle. All right. Hope you had a fight. Shalom.